Hi, Brigitte Baden-Rennie, and this is Chat with a Mosaic Cat, and I'm very pleased to be talking to the rather gorgeous, super talented Sandy White.
Oh,
hello.
Hello. I mean, that's a big thing to live up to. That.
Oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be a doddle.
Yes.
An absolute doddle. But thank you so much for chatting with me. We've got a lot to talk about. This is, as I've always said, it's supposed to be a little sound bite of someone's life, because of course I'll be putting your bio up on the website for people to look through, because there's a lot to look through, so we can't talk about everything.
No, we'd be here for days, actually.
We'll be here for days,
yes.
because yes, understandably, because your career has spanned many, many decades, hasn't it?
Over 6, I guess.
Well, there you go. So there's a lot to read up, and it's worth reading.
Mm.
So let's just start. So who do you admire, Sandy?
Oh gosh, there are so many people I admire. I mean, I have to say, first of all, yesterday it would have been Mark Murphy's birthday, would you believe? And Mark Murphy was definitely one of the people that I most admire in the jazz world, and I got to know him really well. He came to Australia a lot, and he was a mentor to me, you know, and I worked with him several times, so it was wonderful. But I admire all the great singers, really, you know. I mean, I guess Carmen McRae was the one that originally you know, taught me so much.
You spoke about a record. There was a record that you
Oh yes,
to.
right. Well, the funny thing is, yes, when I was about 14, maybe 15, somebody, a friend of my parents, gave me an Ella Fitzgerald LP, you see, and it was called Sweet and Hot, and I still have the LP. The cover's all torn and whatever, but the record still works. Anyway, but he gave it to me, and I've gone, oh, thank you very much, you know, and put this on, and I've gone, that's what I want to do. Wow. You know. Although, in a way, Ella never really influenced me in the same way as Carmen and Sarah Vaughan and Mel Torme was Sweet and Hot.
Sweet and Hot?
Yeah.
Well, there's a name for a show.
Oh, I've
Watch
already done that.
Oh, have you? Oh, I thought I'd nick that.
No, well, you can.
Oh, gosh.
You can. We can do it together.
Yes. Well, there you go. Watch this space.
Yes.
For that. Look, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Where would you choose?
Right here.
We're in New South Wales, by the way.
We're in Sydney. We're in Camden, really.
Yes.
Camden is about an hour southwest of Sydney, and it's semi-rural, although it's gradually becoming very urbanised, which is very sad.
That's because there are horses just over there.
Yeah.
Yonder.
Yeah. We live close to the Nepean River, and we live in this street. It's all small acreage, you know, from an acre to 2.5 acres, and a couple of slightly bigger ones around at the end of the street.
It is really lovely. Yes.
It is, it's gorgeous. But I have to say that I've been very lucky, because I've lived in a lot of places in the world. And amongst them was a 4-year stint in Mallorca.
Oh, wow.
And I have to say, I miss Europe from time to time. But I must have always wanted to come back here, because I would go and live overseas for 5 or 6 years, and then I'd go, oh, I think I have to go home to Australia.
There's a Peter Allen song that comes to mind
yes,
now.
Yes, something like and
it's,
I'm still here.
Yes. Oh, we spoke about that last night. Yeah, Sandy's seriously got to do that tune. And it's actually appropriate.
Too many words.
These paintings by your mother behind here are of
Mallorca.
Aren't they?
Various,
so you can admire those in the background.
Various places, yes.
Yes, which sums it all up, isn't it? This wonderful display and the piano about your life. Why do you do what you do?
Because I can't do anything else, really.
Well, that's inspirational. No,
I mean, when, you know, when I was a little girl, and I do mean little, you know, sort of age 4 and 5, I could sing that old Black Magic straight through, note perfect, word perfect, timing perfect, and with, you know, no accompaniment. And people used to pay me sixpence, for goodness sakes, you know, to do it. And then they'd say, do it again, and I'd get another sixpence, you know. But it was, you know, my mother realised that I did have a voice, or I would have a voice, and she was basically an opera singer.
Yes.
And I was expected to become an opera singer.
Because you certainly had the range. Gosh.
It's
Your
diminishing.
top end. Yes, but your top end was extraordinary and a very powerful voice.
Anyway, and I suppose I would have, I mean, I love opera, you know, and I would have become an opera singer until that man gave me the Ella Fitzgerald
So
record.
that's his fault.
And it's his fault. I'm blaming it on him.
It is
I
wonderful
do
to
what
get
I
that
do
support.
because I love jazz. I love the Great American Songbook. I'm very pro the Great American Songbook. I mean, you know, how can you go wrong with people like Jerome Kern and the Gershwins and Rodgers and Hart and Johnny Mercer and Harold Arlen, etc. That's why I do what I do.
Oh, that's excellent. Excellent answer. Sandy, what's your favourite comfort food?
Oh, God. Well, it's not squid.
Okay, that excellent. Okay, and it's
Uh,
not
it's-
pizza. I know it's not pizza.
No, it's definitely not pizza.
She's not a pizza fan.
Only if I make it, but it's not a comfort food.
No.
My favourite comfort food is cauliflower cheese or macaroni cheese. Anything with sort of creamy sauce in it. You know?
Yes.
That's, yeah.
Yes. Yum. I'll come over. That sounds grand.
Yeah,
I was,
next time you're here, we'll have it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll mix it up.
Yum. I was, as I said earlier, that your career, you know, spanned many, many decades. Is there a highlight for you? I know you'll really have to think hard because I think there are quite a few. Again, if you read her bio, but
well, you know, there are, I suppose, a lot of highlights because, you know, if you happen to be in the right place at the right time, you either get to meet or even sing and or work with people that you never dreamed that you might get to know or work with. I went to London in 1955, aged 18, and within 6 weeks I had my first gig, and that was with Harry Roy, a little sextet that was in a London club called The Gargoyle in Dean Street in Soho. And I worked with him for over a year. And then from there, I don't know, I got a TV show and somebody else heard me and I got another gig. And so it went on. And then I ended up in Germany working for the American Forces. And there I met Lionel Hampton and his band.
Wow.
And Lionel, I was standing with the photographer, you know, helping the photographer, holding up the flash. That's what you did in those days, you know. So we are talking about...
It's all very glamorous,
yeah,
you see.
we are talking about 1958 here or something. Anyway, so, after the show, which was just wonderful, you know, Lionel said to me, "What do you do?" And I said, "Oh, well, you know, I'm a singer." Oh, he said, "Well, we're at Ramstein Air Base tomorrow." He said, "Come and have a sing with us." So I did. So, you know, things like that. And then I went to Paris for a little bit of a holiday during this year with it. And I walked into the Blue Note in Paris with somebody had taken me there, and there was Zoot Sims, and playing the bass was a Canadian bass player named Lloyd, whose surname I cannot remember, but anyway, that's beside the point. And look, I'd known Lloyd in London a little bit, you know, so he's looked at me and he said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, what do you do?" Oh, I knew why he was there, but, you know. So he introduced me to Zoot. Zoot just said, "Oh, sing a couple of songs." "Thank you very much, I will." Then he said, after I had sung, I'm going to Wiesbaden tomorrow. And I said, well, I've just come from there. What a shame. He said, I'm doing a recording. He said, you can front the band for the next 3 nights. So,
You
know.
just say yes, don't you?
Yes, you just
you
say
need to
yes.
say yes. I'll do that.
But one of the funny things was I was a travel agent. You have to do day jobs sometimes and I was a travel agent on and off for many, many years. And the man that ran Pan American Airways here in Sydney in the 80s was a band leader and a drummer. And John said to him, he said, there must be tons of talent in the travel industry. So he organised a talent quest, and it was held in one of the aircraft hangars at the bottom of Mascot of the runway.
As you do.
As you do, right, anyway. So the first year I didn't enter because I was overseas. Second year, I entered, and the band was just wonderful. All Americans, except the bass player who was American but lived in Australia, and so it was really good. And I was literally on last and going through all these things, and there were a couple of acts. And they couldn't handle the aircraft going over, and taking off, and coming to, and whatever. So I sang, and this hangar is a big hangar, and there's over 2,000 people in that hangar. I had never sung to such a large audience in my life. And it's like 5 to 4 in the afternoon, and I'm going, there's a TAA flight going to Melbourne, and there's an Ansett flight going to Melbourne any minute now.
Yeah.
And I've sung Anything Goes and done scat chorus and whatever,
Yes.
you see, and got this terrific ovation at the end of it. And I thought, do I start this song or do I keep on talking? No, I'll start the song. So I've started, I've gone, Georgia, and this thing's going, Georgia, no peace I find, and it's starting to take off, and so I've gone, just an old sweet song, and I hung on to that note until it had taken off.
Oh, I bet you there was rapturous applause.
And 2,000 people cheered.
Yes.
I think that was a highlight.
I had a similar experience singing in a hot air balloon.
Oh my God.
Yes,
All
just
all
with a
those
mic.
flames.
Yeah, but every time, and it was great. Can we call him the pilot? I suppose he is,
He is a pilot.
But every time I was singing something appropriate, like "Fly me to the moon," something like that. Perhaps not, please not go that far. But then in between, he would go, and then I would keep singing. It was super fun. It really
You
was
wouldn't
fun.
get me into a hot air balloon for all the tea
there's
in
a gig.
China.
There's a gig we're not doing. Then.
No,
okay.
absolutely not. And they're just over the road, at the Camden Airport.
Okay. Well, what keeps you motivated? Keeps you,
People like you.
like me.
Mm.
Oh, you're gorgeous. 'Cause
People
you're
like
a-
you. Other singers, other musicians, and best of all, the people who come to this room, we do concerts here, people who come to this room, they keep me motivated. But there is one person in this world that really keeps me motivated, and that is my gorgeous husband, Patrick. He's also my roadie. He gets a hell of a, battering from me, but without him, I would not be singing. And yes, he keeps me motivated.
Yes, he's fabulous.
Because I never had a lesson in my life. My lessons came from listening to records of the great singers and horn players,
Yes.
right? But for me, more singers, because I was not only interested in the melody, I was, interested in the lyrics and the phrasing. I mean, Carmen McRae taught me more about breath control and phrasing than you could ever imagine.
Yes.
That's to me. However, these days there are so many things you can do. There were no jazz courses at the Sydney Conservatorium when I was probably able to go.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think they would have had me because I don't read music really all that well, you know. But there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I read it a bit, but not well.
Yeah.
And so, to the youngest, if you find a great teacher, terrific. If you want to go to a conservatorium or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, fabulous. I agree with that. But to me, the best place is the listening, the listening room.
Mm-hmm.
The best place is a live performance, listening. And if you are lucky enough and you know the musicians there and they invite you to sing, get up and do it. Because the more you do it, the more confidence you gain. And, you know, you learn about showing the musicians what, you know, when you want them to slow down to, you know, when you want to rel, when you want to stop, when you want counting them in. You learn all these things on the stage. Sure, you can learn all that at the con, of course you do, or, you know, but you learn it doing it.
And then you develop an individual style.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I first started, I learned something off a record of Carmen's or Ella's or whoever, and I would sort of sing it like that for a while, and then, you know,
as many people do. We were
Yeah.
talking about Peggy Lee last
Yeah,
night, who
yeah.
mimicked Billie Holiday because she loved her so much.
Everything you hear helps. You may turn around and say to yourself, no, I don't really like that, and move on to something else. That's fine. But all these things help you start at the beginning and give you ideas. And I also, you know, people have given me a lot of critiques in their time, and they've said some pretty harsh things. And I've read them and I've gone, you know. But I have gone home and I have thought about it. And you can learn an awful lot from things that people write about you. You really can, you know.
Yes, of course. Even if you don't like it.
Even if you don't like
particularly.
it, think about it, and maybe you go, maybe they are right. I could just, you know, do this or that or the other, and changes it. And the next time that person critiques you, you get a good critique. The same, you know.
That would be the thing, was it? Give them back. Give them back.
Oh.
Listen to me again. What do you think? I'll go back to Peggy Lee again, because she got some pretty harsh criticism
I think
earlier in her career,
Yeah.
where they said something like she should be behind the counter selling the discs rather than singing on it. And if she had taken their advice, you know, she just thought, I've got to work harder, and
yes,
she did. Discipline anyway, but look, well, we could just keep on chatting. It is a real tonic to spend time with you. It's marvellous.
Where's
you are
the
very
gin?
Where's the gin? We're waiting now. It's 10 to 12.
it sounds nearly over the hour.
We might just sneak off for a little cheeky afternoon
I don't think
drink.
so.
Well, the sun's out. Hooray!
Yeah. Pouring with rain yesterday.
Yes,
and it's
you'll
all
know
sunny
from
today.
the chat with the lovely David White
Yeah.
yesterday, and the rain on the roof, which I say was quite meditative. It was really nice. What a super family. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My
Ms.
dear Brigitte,
Sandy
thank
White.
you very much.
Had a blast of a time.
Yep.
But look out for this space, okay, for more interviews, and look, all the best,
clips and,
all the little clips and that. But
yeah.
everyone out there, keep well,
and stay safe.
safe, and stay sane. Look after that wonderful mental health. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Until then, ciao.
Ciao.